Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. The older you get, the closer you may be to a heart attack, and you might not even know it's coming. In fact, once you pass the age of 65, your risk of having a heart attack doesn't just go up a little. It more than doubles. And here's the scariest part. You can feel perfectly fine, and still be one heartbeat away from a life-changing event. No warning. No loud alarm bell. Just a bit of tiredness that won't go away. A weird pressure in your chest when you're climbing the stairs. Or maybe a burning sensation in your throat that you chalk up to last night's dinner. But behind those quiet symptoms, something deadly could be brewing. I've seen it too many times. Someone you love goes to bed feeling a little off, and doesn't wake up the next morning. Or maybe it's a friend who seemed healthy, active, laughing at lunch. And by dinner, they're in an emergency room, praying it's not too late. This is the silent killer that stalks millions of older adults every single year. And if you're thinking, that won't happen to me, I hope you're right. But the truth is, most people never see it coming until it's too late. The good news? It doesn't have to be this way. Because right now, there are seniors in their late 70s, even their 80s, who are walking 5 miles a day, traveling, laughing, dancing, living fully, with stronger hearts than they had in their 40s. They didn't find a miracle cure. They just discovered a few powerful, science-backed, daily habits. The kind that most doctors simply never talk about. Why? Because the system is built to manage disease, not to prevent it. And that's why over 90% of older adults have never even been told about these life-saving practices. But recent studies, from places like Johns Hopkins and the American Heart Association, are now revealing something truly hopeful. That your heart isn't doomed to decline. That aging doesn't have to mean slowing down or falling apart. That there is a way to protect yourself, starting today. And on today's episode of Thriving Age Tip, I'm going to show you exactly how. 5 surprising heart-protecting habits you can begin this week, without extreme diets, without heavy workouts, and without another pill. This could be the difference between living in fear, or living with freedom, strength, and peace of mind. So don't go anywhere. Because this might just be the most important 2 minutes of your day. Let's dive right into the first heart-saving habit that can make a real difference for you, starting tomorrow morning. Habit number 1, morning movement. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm not really a morning person anymore. But hear me out. Because what you do in the first 20 minutes after you wake up could either help your heart, or quietly hurt it. You see, overnight, your blood tends to thicken. Your circulation slows. And when you first stand up in the morning, your heart has to work a little harder to get everything flowing again. That's why studies now show that just 20 minutes of light movement in the morning can reduce strain on your heart, improve circulation, and even regulate your blood pressure for the rest of the day. It's not about sweating buckets or lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about gentle movement. A slow walk around your neighborhood, stretching in your living room, or even a few minutes of Tai Chi by the window as the sun comes up. Simple things that tell your heart, hey, we're up. Let's get moving safely. But here's the mistake most people make. They wait until the evening to get their steps in. And while any movement is good, late-day activity can actually increase blood pressure temporarily, right when it should be calming down. So if you want to give your heart the easiest start to its day, start with a little movement of your own. Habit number 2, magnesium-rich foods. Now let's talk about something that almost never gets brought up in routine doctor visits, but could be one of the most powerful minerals for your heart. Magnesium. We hear a lot about cutting back on salt or watching cholesterol, and yes, that's important. But hardly anyone's talking about what your heart actually needs to stay strong and steady. And magnesium? That's a big one. Research has shown that low magnesium levels are directly linked to high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and increased risk of heart disease. Why? Because magnesium helps your blood vessels relax. It keeps calcium in balance inside your heart cells. And it literally helps your heart beat with a smoother, healthier rhythm. So if your diet is low in magnesium, and many seniors' diets are, your heart might be working harder than it needs to. But here's the good news. You can start correcting this with your very next meal. Add more magnesium-rich foods to your plate, like pumpkin seeds, spinach, black beans, almonds, and even avocados. And if your doctor gives the green light, a magnesium supplement may be helpful, too. Now here's a myth that needs busting. People think heart problems are just about cutting sodium. But the truth is, it's not just about what you take out, it's also about what you put in. And magnesium? That's one of the most powerful allies your heart has been missing. So, just from these first 2 habits alone, you're already starting to tip the odds in your favor. You're helping your heart wake up safely. And you're giving it the mineral support it needs to beat strong and steady, without extra strain. But we're only just getting started. Because the next habit I'm going to share, it might surprise you. It has nothing to do with food or exercise. But it could be the most powerful one yet. Let's keep going. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about this. When was the last time you actually sat still, no phone, no television, no background noise, and just breathed? Not rushed. Not shallow. I mean deep, intentional breathing, the kind that calms your nerves, slows your heart rate, and lets your body exhale the weight it's been carrying. Because that leads us to the next heart-saving habit, and it might be the most underrated one on this list. Habit number 3, deep breathing or simple daily meditation. You see, your heart doesn't just respond to food or exercise. It responds, every second, to your thoughts, your emotions, your stress. And stress? It's a silent saboteur. Chronic stress causes your body to release a hormone called cortisol, and when that cortisol stays elevated, day after day, year after year, it tightens your blood vessels, raises your blood pressure, and keeps your heart on edge, like it's always bracing for danger. But here's the encouraging part. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day of simple, focused breathing can change that. Harvard researchers have shown that deep breathing, especially when done regularly, can lower cortisol, slow your heart rate, and reduce your risk of cardiovascular events. Yes. Just breathing. This isn't about sitting on a yoga mat or chanting. It's about giving your heart a break, the same way you would give a tired friend a place to rest. One easy method you can try is called box breathing. It's simple. It's effective. And you can do it right from your chair. Here's how. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale gently for 4 seconds. And hold again for 4 more seconds. That's 1 round. Do it for just 5 minutes, and you'll feel the difference. You might feel your shoulders drop. You might feel a little clearer in your mind. And what you won't feel is your heart racing like it used to. Because deep breathing tells your nervous system, we're safe. We're okay. You can relax now. And your heart listens. Now let's move to another simple shift, so simple, in fact, that most people overlook it entirely. But this one tiny habit, it can make a massive difference in how your heart starts each day. Habit number 4, hydration before breakfast. Here's a question for you. What's the very first thing you put into your body each morning? For most folks, it's coffee. Sometimes it's breakfast. But the one thing your heart really needs first thing in the morning is water. Let me explain why. When you sleep for 6, 7, even 8 hours, you're not drinking anything that whole time. Your body becomes mildly dehydrated. And dehydration doesn't just make you feel tired or sluggish. It makes your blood thicker. That means your heart has to work harder to pump it through your body. The thicker the blood, the more pressure inside your arteries, and the more strain placed directly on your heart. Now imagine starting every morning that way. And doing it year after year, decade after decade. It adds up. But here's the fix, and it couldn't be easier. As soon as you wake up, before breakfast, before your coffee, drink a glass of room temperature water. Not ice cold. Just comfortable. This immediately begins thinning your blood, flushing your system, and easing the morning workload on your heart. Want to take it up a notch? Squeeze in a bit of fresh lemon. Not just for flavor, lemon gives you a gentle dose of potassium, a mineral your heart uses to regulate its rhythm and keep blood pressure stable. Now, this isn't about guzzling a gallon first thing. Just a medium-sized glass, enough to start the engine smoothly and give your heart a little head start. It's one of the smallest changes you can make. But it's also one of the most powerful. Because every day, you're either stacking pressure on your heart, or lifting a little bit of it away. And this simple morning ritual, it lifts. So, now you've got 4 solid habits in your hands. Not overwhelming. Not extreme. But real, science-backed, heart-protecting practices that you can start, right now. You're waking your body with gentle movement. You're fueling your heart with magnesium. You're calming stress through breath. And you're supporting circulation with water. But there's still one more habit to go. And this last one, it might surprise you the most. Now, I saved this one for last for a reason. Because it's often the most misunderstood. And yet, it could be the one thing that gives you your strength, your stamina, and your confidence back. Habit number 5, the 10-minute rule for cardio. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like getting healthier meant doing more than your body could handle? Like you needed to go to the gym 5 days a week, jog for 30 minutes straight, or follow some exhausting routine just to make a dent in your heart health? That mindset, it's not only discouraging, it's flat out wrong. Because the truth is, you don't need long, punishing workouts to build a strong heart. In fact, researchers have now confirmed something that changes everything for older adults. Short bursts of movement, just 10 minutes at a time, can boost heart function, lower blood pressure, and increase circulation in ways that are just as effective as longer workouts. It's called the 10-minute rule. And it works because it's realistic. Here's how simple it is. Take a 10-minute walk after breakfast. Climb the stairs a few extra times before lunch. Do a few laps around the house or stretch your legs in the backyard while dinner's cooking. Add in a 10-minute stroll before bedtime to help your heart wind down. That's it. 3 or 4 short bursts of movement a day. No need for expensive equipment, crowded gyms, or high-impact routines that leave your joints aching. And every one of those 10-minute sessions, they add up. They help improve heart rate variability, that's your heart's ability to respond to stress. They help lower your resting blood pressure. And they keep your endurance from fading with age. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to do it for an hour, but doing it regularly makes all the difference. Now here's the mistake many people make, especially after 65. They think, if I can't do a full 30-minute workout, it's not worth doing anything at all. That mindset, it stops more progress than heart disease ever could. Because the most important exercise you can do is the one you'll actually stick with. And the 10-minute rule meets you right where you are. Whether you've got stiff knees, sore hips, or just haven't moved in a while, you can still do 10 minutes. And those 10 minutes, they're like deposits in a savings account for your heart. Little by little, they compound. Until one day you realize, you're breathing easier, walking farther, feeling more confident doing things on your own again. And that, my friend, is when you know you're no longer just surviving. You're thriving. Now let's take a breath, because we've covered a lot today. 5 habits. Each one simple. Each one backed by science. Each one designed to protect your heart, not in theory, but in real life. You don't need to do them all at once. Start with just one. Stick with it. Let it become part of your routine. Then, when you're ready, add the next. Because this is about momentum, not perfection. It's about giving your heart what it needs. Every day. In small, powerful ways. So you can live not just longer, but better. And that's exactly what we believe here at Thriving Age Tip. But before we wrap up, I've got a few final thoughts to leave with you. Let's close this out right. With the one thing that matters most. You. So if you want to protect your heart, if you want to reduce your risk of emergency room visits, if you want to keep your independence, your energy, and your peace of mind, then just pick one of these 5 habits. And start today. That's it. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. You don't need to follow a perfect routine or wait until Monday or buy anything fancy. You just need to take one small, steady step. Because when it comes to your heart, even the tiniest changes compound. They build strength where you once felt weakness. They bring clarity where there was confusion. And over time, they begin to shift the way you live, not just the way you feel. Let's remind ourselves of what we covered. You learned the power of morning movement, waking your heart up gently and safely. You saw how magnesium-rich foods can help your heart beat stronger and smoother. You discovered that 5 minutes of deep breathing each day can quiet your nervous system and reduce harmful stress. You understood the role of hydration before breakfast in thinning your blood and supporting circulation. And finally, you heard how the 10-minute rule for movement isn't just manageable, it's life-changing. And all of that? It's within reach. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. And it's absolutely not too late to take control of your heart health. Because this stage of life, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a wiser, more intentional chapter. A chapter where your choices matter more than ever. And where every step you take toward health can pay you back in years of energy, freedom, and joy. That's not hype. That's real. And it's happening for thousands of people just like you, every day. So take a breath. Place your hand on your heart, if it helps. And ask yourself, what's the one habit I'm ready to start with today? Because that decision might just be the one that keeps you thriving for years to come. Now, before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 habits surprised you the most? Is there one you've already been doing, or one you're excited to try? Share it in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. Let's support each other. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Thriving Age Tip. Because we're here every week with real strategies to help you feel better, move better, and live with purpose. This is your time. So go out there and thrive. So tell me, which of these habits surprised you the most? Was it the deep breathing, the idea that something as simple as stillness could actually protect your heart? Was it the magnesium, something you might have overlooked at the grocery store all these years? Or maybe it was the 10-minute rule, realizing that you don't need to run marathons to build real strength? Have you already been doing one of these? Maybe you've already made a habit of morning walks or keeping a water bottle by your bed. If so, that's something to celebrate. Because every positive choice you've made, it matters. And if there's something new you're going to try this week, write it down. Say it out loud. Tell someone you trust. And if you feel comfortable, share it in the comments below. Because here's the truth. Your story, your commitment, your journey. It might be the one thing that gives someone else the courage to begin. That's the beautiful thing about this stage of life. We've seen a lot. We've learned a lot. And now, we get to pass that wisdom forward. This community we're building here at Thriving Age Tip. It's not just about health hacks or heart stats. It's about reminding each other that aging isn't something to fear. It's something to live into, with purpose, with strength, and with joy. So if this video gave you even one new idea, click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you tap the notification bell, so you don't miss a single tip. Because we're just getting started. And remember, you're not alone. We're in this together. Every week, we're showing up to help you move better, feel stronger, and age with confidence. Not just to survive, but to thrive. So until next time, stay strong, stay smart, and as always, keep thriving.